today we're talking about a cloud-based program. It's not necessarily social media, but it does allow you to utilize the cloud to get your tasks done. We're talking about GQueues, which is GQueues.com. Go there. You can try the app out for free. I call it an app because it integrates with Google, but there's two places for you to utilize it. One is on your smartphone, so you can have the app, and we've tried all three. We've tried the app for iPhone. We've tried for the iPad, actually. Sorry about that, because we don't have iPhones, but we do have an iPad. We also have tried it on Android, and we have also tried it just online, and it works really, really well. To be honest, it's the first time I've seen a product that works better on app than it does online. But it really is an amazing product because you can it has a little shortcut that you can put on any of your web browsers, and it's always there. So throughout the day, when you're working, you can actually just reach up and put in a to-do item, reach up, put in a to-do item, categorize it, prioritize it, schedule it, and you're on your way. You don't have to think about it till it hits you in the face later. I'm having my son use it for his homework at school, and if I would have had, I was valedictorian at my high school, and I was not valedictorian of college with 43,000 students, but I did get a 3.72 in engineering, which wasn't bad, okay? It's something I'm proud of, but not wildly proud of. But I was a good student. But one of the things I had constantly running around in my head as a student was noise. When are things due? When is that project due? When's that test coming up? It was a lot of stress that was undue stress that would have gone away if I would have just had it right there in front of me, and every time it came, I would have entered it in. And so, especially with your children, and speaking of children, there's another product I recommend in conjunction with GQueues. GQueues does have the ability to have daily recurring tasks. But it can start to clog up a little bit if you have 20 recurring tasks that you say your prayers, you do your meditation, you do your exercises, all your 20 different exercises. It can add up. There's something that I recommend, which is a great product that we use for our children. It has literally changed our children's lives, and I utilize it in conjunction with GQueues, is myjobchart.com. It's free. Can't be free. GQueues does cost $25 a year. If you can't afford $25 a year, you know what? Go out of business. You have no business being in business if you can't afford $25 a year to have a life-changing product. I mean, I can understand that $25 is too much for a Big Mac, but not too much to change your life utilizing GQueues.com. So what I want to share with you is that if you go into My Job Chart, all your recurring tasks that recur every day, every week, every month, you can put those in there because those are the things that have to do with the roles. So for example, what I love that Cameron did on GQueues is that he gave us the ability to put labels, just like, yes, you guessed it, just like Gmail. So Gmail has that labeling function. So what I do, and you can use it however you like, of course, but this is if you're a Franklin Covey person, what Franklin Covey has you do is go in and identify all the roles that you have in life. For example, if I go into my GQueues, you can see that I have a role as a father, I have a role as a husband, I have a role as a business owner, I have a role as a community member, as a neighbor, a church member, as a citizen. There's so many different types of roles, and we sometimes focus on only one. And what Stephen Covey talks about, or used to talk about because he's passed on now, but what the Franklin Covey Institute talks about is how to get balance not only in the 4 areas of life, which is the spiritual, physical, social, emotional, and which one am I missing here? The mental development. Obviously, I need help on that one, of life. And so a lot of people balance in those areas and feel good about themselves. But what about the balance in the roles that you have in life as a husband, a father, as a business owner, as a citizen, all these different things, being a good neighbor. So I am able to label all the things that I do, and when you click on the label, everything underneath being a good neighbor shows up. And then so it pulls it all under one, and then I can actually prioritize being a good neighbor, that we want to organize a block party, we want to sponsor this for the block party, whatever the case might be. So these are things that are extremely powerful, that allow you to truly balance in life and listen to your inner soul as you, because sometimes we get into the thick of thin things, and what inner soul, what's that? We wonder if we have a soul, and we wonder if other people have souls, and everybody's running around in many cases without a soul because they're ignoring their soul. But instead, if you actually go in and look at all the different roles ahead of time, and you look at you create your mission statement, your vision statement, your long-term, midterm, and short-term goals, and then dump all that structure into GQueues, and also the daily recurring tasks, only because you just don't want to overfill GQueues. You want GQueues to be those tasks that you need to get done each, on kind of the one-time things that you click off, archive, and you're done. But the recurring tasks, I recommend myjobchart.com, put those in there, and then you actually can mark them off at the end of the week. For your children, it actually tallies up what percentage of it gives a point. You can let me make sure I'm distinguishing the difference between what I'm talking about here. I'm talking about myjobchart.com right now. You can actually have a parent program where either you can have one for the husband, one for the wife, but that's actually considered children of the family. So there's one main user account, and then the husband could be a child of the family, in other words, a sub-user. The wife could be one, and then their children. And then everybody, what we do in our family is we have a contest. Let's see who can get most of their daily recurring tasks done, and then we have a reward system on Friday night. If I've done more of my, balancing activities throughout the recurring balancing activities during the week than my wife has, I get to choose what we do on date night. If she and also I have to give her a massage. So, and then vice versa. If she actually gets more done throughout the week on those important things, the balancing life activities, and getting those things accomplished that really make you a better person and balance your character, then we actually allow, she gets to choose what we do, and so in other words, vice versa. Whoever wins the contest gets the benefit, and it's a mutual benefit. So it's just it makes it a lot of fun. We also can add in there who loses the most weight, just whatever. It's completely customizable, but those are recurring things. GQueues is a great complementary thing that is not so much for the recurring, to keep track of the recurring items, but even though it has that function, and I don't want to tell you that it doesn't, but I would love to use these two in combination, and then the Queues project management side of things, because what can happen for a lot of us is we get really motivated, like I have, and then you have 3,000 things to do, and what you do is you just ignore the whole mess, because it's not prioritized, and it's all kinds of recurring, and you have all these alarms hitting you in the face and nothing happens. Don't get bogged down like that. Separate out your recurring tasks, and then get as many as you can done, and create have an accountability partner who mine happens to be my wife, but you can make it whoever it is if you're a listener, to use that myjobchart.com and create that little initiative to get those things done, and then use GQueues for that. So now we are going to go to break and have a very short segment, but Elaine is still with us here, and she had a poem that she wanted to read that kind of goes along with listening to what I'm going to term the inner soul, what she's referring to as silence. But Elaine, do you want to share that with us?
Thank you, Kurt. I'd love to. I've been fascinating what you said, with this planning, and I think it's going to free people's minds up. It'll declutter the mind, but I've also noticed when, because I was in a very serious mountain bike accident 18 years ago, so I am a survivor from a traumatic brain injury and PTSD, so anybody out there who needs help, I'd be happy to help them with that.
Great.
And one of the key things is when I realized how seriously I was injured, it was like, okay, I have a long journey, and how am I going to recover? And I have shared this poem with many people, and they said that when they have struggled with different situations, they have read the poem, or I've made that way back then it was audio, tapes. It has helped them center, and then they can think clearer and resolve whatever the issue was.
Mm-hmm.
So the poem goes like this. Listen to the silence as it echoes in the chambers of your heart. Listen to the silence as it traces through the folds within your mind. Listen to the silence, for it knows how to ignite your inner self. Listen to the silence, because it will teach your body how to move. Listen to the silence. It will guide you in the direction of your journey. Listen to the silence. It calls out with the beingness of love. Listen to the silence. It is the voice of your freedom. Listen to the silence. It is the gateway to your future. Listen to the silence, for without it, life will pass unheard. And I sign it, Silence is Golden. So if any of you would like a copy of that, just get in touch with me.
And the phone number to reach you?
602-670-2850.
Very good. Thank you, Elaine.
Thank you.
And it is really true. We're going to go to break right now. When we come back, we're going to talk about the final implementation phase of how you pull all this together and make something that otherwise may be a little bit boring. I'm going to share this with you. When I come back, I felt like there was about a few years of my life where I was broken. There was something wrong with me, that I got this sick feeling inside when I actually had to get things done. And that, if any of you feel that feeling of, oh my gosh, I'm just overwhelmed, I'm going to tell you how to get rid of that when you come back. And it has a little bit to do with this Listen to the Silence poem. So thank you, Elaine, for sharing that with us today. This is Kurt Wilhelm, your host on the Social Universe, here on Voice America World Talk Radio. Don't go away. We'll be right back.